guys, today is Monday. I hope everyone's day is off to an amazing start. Thanks so much for stopping in today, guys. Unless you have been living under a rock, today's title will really resonate with you. All right, everyone knows, and as you can see, we're jumping right in here. Jonathan Majors, guys. Jonathan Majors, according to the girls, is for the streets. So today, Eric and we are going to weigh in, chime in, give you our views on the topic. So let's go. All right, so Eric has joined us, guys, but he is here, I would like to say, in a limited capacity.
And under duress. I do not want to do this video.
So he's here in disguise. We don't know who this guy is. We'll just call him E. All right, we'll just call him E. He's here in disguise. However, I really wanted to talk about this particular subject. And guys, please, nothing we say here is the gospel. Please don't take it seriously.
It's very lighthearted. Very
lighthearted. You know how we do here on the channel. And I'm actually going to just read exactly what happened, okay? The Jonathan Majors, he is on the lips of everyone right now, I guess figuratively and literally. He's in every great film or every big blockbuster right now. If you guys know anything about the Marvel franchise, Creed, that is the Jonathan Majors.
He was in Lovecraft Country on HBO.
Okay.
It was decent. I watched that. That was a pretty good show. So yeah.
So over the weekend, guys, he found himself in a little bit of trouble. So I'm just going to read what BuzzFeed News is saying. All right. So Creed 3 actor Jonathan Majors was arrested Saturday morning in Manhattan on suspicion of strangulation, assault, and harassment, guys. That is strangulation, assault, and harassment. Majors, who is 33, was arrested after a domestic dispute that happened in the Chelsea neighborhood. A 30-year-old woman was taken to a hospital with minor injuries to her head and neck, says the NYPD. Now, we have learned here within the community, that Jonathan Majors really has an affinity towards women of non-color, women who are not of color. And let me just say this, some of my best friends, some of my most bestest friends are women of non-color. We have recently learned that Jonathan Majors really prefers women of non-color. All right.
Does he really? I mean, you have one anecdotal, I think the girl he's with now, apparently.
All right. So I'm just, for the sake of television, I'm going to overgeneralize. I'm going to overgeneralize and say that he prefers women who are not of color, okay, right? And so this particular woman is the woman we are speaking about today. The 30-year-old woman is his girlfriend, allegedly, who called the police on him. So apparently it came out that the two of them were in a driven vehicle. I'm not sure if it was a taxi or one of their, celebrity
like
limos,
car service or something.
One of their car services. And while they were in said vehicle together, she peered over and saw him texting what appeared to be allegedly another woman. And that is where, guys, this assault.
That sounds very much Chris Brown, Rihanna. Mm-hmm. I'm having, Chris Brown, right, Rihanna flashbacks.
And so I have to ask, was this his first time? Because if I peer over and see you texting someone, I'm just going to assume it's a work call.
Right. So she was looking and I think that was the case with Rihanna. Rihanna knew where there's smoke, there's fire.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. This has happened before. Right. Who is it this time?
Right.
Again, I say, if this isn't habitual, if I look over at your phone.
I get texts all the time. You get texts all the time. I don't necessarily assume it's suspicious.
I pass by Eric's office and there are women on the phone in your office, in our home. True. And I'm in there stirring it up, doing what I'm doing, minding my business. I'm not like up against the door like, who is that? So for me, and you guys drop down in the comments, let me know does this seem like this is something that has been kind of habitual, that he's done this before? And so speaking of doing things before, now that he has been arrested, since released, it is coming out that the Jonathan Majors has had somewhat of a checkered past.
But here's the thing.
Well, let you speak on that. So Jonathan Majors, actor, where did he go to school?
Yale, NYU, he went to a prestigious acting school in the Northeast. I can't remember, but there's an acting community up there of all the schools, and apparently I think a couple of guys tweeted or came out, and at first it was like a blind item, but then they said there's a certain actor who's really popular, he's becoming a sex symbol, but if y'all knew who he really was, and I'm paraphrasing, y'all would see that he's a bit of a creep, for lack of a better word. And so now that's coming out that they were talking about Jonathan Majors. And that's a tough one, because I can understand how you might have a reputation, but then do you really know Jonathan Majors? Did they catch him on a bad day? Are they judging him off maybe one thing he did or one mistake he made in his past? We don't really know. Right.
And so what some people are speculating is that, wow, now it makes sense. This is why he never really had any type of social media platform, because he was kind of hiding in the shadows of his past. And what I would say too is these individuals who are coming out and saying that, well, we always knew he was this type of dude. Are you upset? Are these individuals upset because now maybe Jonathan Majors has made it and kind of left them behind, that they're coming out and trying to, you know, taint and kind of cloud this success that he's having? Or is there some truth in this?
And can you even link the two? You know, I don't think there's a person on earth that hasn't done something questionable or shady. But just because I did a bad thing back then, that might not be related to what I'm doing today.
Right. We've all done things and we've all grown and learned from them. Just because, like Eric said, or whoever this guy has said, just because he's done things in the past does not mean that he has not grown and become, you know, a new person. So the article goes on to say Majors was taken into custody without incident, and the woman told officers that she had been assaulted. Now, the ladies in the community are saying that, hey, this ain't got nothing to do with us. He wanted to go over and dip into the other side of the pond, then this is his problem.
But are you saying that the situation would have been different if he'd have dealt with somebody in his own community? Is that what you're saying? That she would not have...
what the streets are saying.
Is this like a no snitch thing?
What the streets is saying.
So you're not saying it's the streets.
It's not me, it's the streets,
okay.
Right? You guys have got to go, what is it, the Shade Room?
Probably one of them, yeah.
One of them. There are many different blogs where you can go and check out what the comments are saying in regards to, you know, him tipping over into the other pond, right? So, but what the ladies over there are saying is that, you know, hey, if this was one of us, right? If this was one of us, y'all would never have known.
Why not tell? But isn't that a bad thing? Because should anybody put up with domestic abuse? What is the positive about maybe not reporting him?
All right, there are several sides to this, right? There are several sides to this. And I know I have white subscribers, so you guys just kind of listen to this. And again, take everything that's being said here, kind of comedy, kind of, I'm just reading what they wrote, right? When there's a lot that goes along with a black man being arrested in America.
Facts.
There's a lot that goes along with being a successful black man in America.
Facts.
There's a lot at stake that goes along with being a black man in the public eye in America, dating a woman not of color.
The justice system and the legal system has made strides, but it's still very much not in favor of people of color. And so I've experienced that personally.
Right. Yeah. And so to understand all of the ramifications involved in those type of scenarios, you have to be a woman of color to kind of understand that. And so I feel the black woman would be more sympathetic.
Is that good or bad?
Right.
Let us know.
You guys let us know.
Yeah.
for me, no one should stay in an abusive relationship.
Absolutely.
If we are to believe the alleged comments by his former colleagues, students he's attended college with, then this is something that he's allegedly always done. And so, not sure if you guys know, but he also has allegedly, you know, if we are to believe what the articles are saying, a daughter with this individual, actually here in the Atlanta area. He likes to keep her out of the public eye. In that case, he absolutely did the right thing in keeping her out of the public eye.
Yeah. But
so, would he have been arrested? Would we even be talking about this today, this Monday morning, if this had been a black woman?
I have several questions too to kind of piggyback off that. You know, we live in an era now, as it should be, where there is zero tolerance. How far back in history would you have to go back for this to have not even been an issue? For this to have not even made the headlines? Like, would it even be, if you go back 10, 20, 30 years, would we even know about it? We all know about Bill Cosby. So it's interesting to me now, everything is, and I'm glad, but I have those thoughts about, man, if this had happened 20 years ago, would we even know about it? Or 30 years ago? And how many incidents has happened that we don't know about?
So to answer your question, we are living in the days of cancel culture.
Yeah.
We're living in the days of cancel culture. And so, we're just now finding out everything that happened surrounding Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, and what's the big producer name? Harvey Weinstein. Back then, it was hush hush. It was just, it is what it is. It's the industry. You know, you just went along with it. This is what you expected. However, today, like I said, this is cancel culture. It's zero tolerance, and there should be zero tolerance.
But you know what? I have another question, because some people debate about, some people will tell you cancel culture is not a thing. For example, Chris Brown has not really been canceled, right? So I bet you have some people saying, some of y'all are going to probably say in the comments, well, cancel culture isn't real.
We have to define cancel culture and what are the little bullets underneath cancel culture. I would say Chris Brown absolutely has been canceled.
He didn't reach his full potential.
He did not reach his full potential. What he did was absolutely wrong, and I think even today he's still paying for it. Ask him, he'd say, I think he'd agree, he is still paying for that whole fight, that assault that he parlayed upon Rihanna.
And I think it's still, when you see Chris Brown, and there's been allegations made about Chris Brown and substances, I think you can, I still think that he wears that day, that night, and I think if Chris Brown would look back, and if he had to do it all over again, he would have never intermingled with Rihanna. That's what I think. I think the two of them, at the time that they got together, they were both too big, they were both too young, and quite frankly, just too explosive in terms of their personalities. They should have never been together. All right, but circling back to Jonathan Majors, right? He has now lawyered up. He has lawyered up, and according to his attorney, Ms. Chaudhry, she says that there's actually video evidence of the incident. Interesting to see if it was that's going to be interesting, and that's the other thing about the times we live in. Everything is videotaped. So
the guy driving the vehicle. So again, going back to whether or not this would have made it to the front page, mainstream, if it had been a woman of color that he had been in the vehicle with, I'm going to just say, just from what I see in terms of women of color being in high profile relationships with, you know, high profile black men, I don't think we would be talking about it, because she would have seen him on his phone texting, and she'd have been like, okay.
Halle Berry.
Okay.
Halle Berry still won't tell
who did
her death.
Let me ask you this. Say that again for the people in the back.
Halle Berry still won't say who.
She won't say who did it, because I'm going to venture to say it was a man of color who did it, and she does not want this to.
I think it was between David Justice, who played for the Braves, and Wesley Snipes. Let me ask you this: is that fair? Because if it wasn't David Justice or Wesley Snipes, can they say, "But you're making me look bad"? It's a tough situation. It really is. Well, because now there's a cloud over them.
Over who?
David Justice and
this is true, right? The one who did not do it is like, hey girl, would you please let the folk know it was not me?
But by the way, the streets kind of say they know which one, but I'm not gonna get into that.
Who the streets say that?
I'm not gonna. Because I don't. Yeah.
This guy isn't here.
I'm not.
He's in.
This is AI. I'm a robot.
But circling back to Jonathan Majors, again, his attorney said there is video evidence saying, you know, this isn't how it went down. But so for my white friends, and we've had this conversation ad nauseum, we have talked about the way white women who are not of color, are able to ring the alarm at the drop of a dime when they feel things aren't going their way, because they know they're going to be saved. The authorities are coming to the rescue. They are going to put the clink down on whoever the brother is and ask questions later.
That's the whole Karen thing, but I do think that's the beauty of the time we live in.
Right.
Now we at least have a name for it.
Right.
5 years ago, there was no such thing as Karen culture. And now it's documented, we see it. So there are a lot of moving parts. Let me ask you this. Two situations. If he's found to be 100% guilty, can he come back? Or if he's found that the video, so that's the first scenario. The second scenario, if the video does somewhat exonerate him, can he come back?
Right. Is he tainted for good? I feel Jonathan Majors will be able to come back. Disney not having it. Y'all not going to come in here
even if the video exonerates him a little bit.
I still will look at him differently.
Even if the video exonerates him.
Even if it exonerates him, I still look at him differently. I have to say, just from if I can be 100 with you guys, and again, these are conversations I've had with my white friends, all right? And so if I say, and I'm talking to my white friends who watch the video, if I am honest, I have to say that I was a little bit taken aback by the fact that this brother has come out and made all this success, and instead of keeping the success within the community, he's stepped outside of the community. Now, listen, love is love.
I was going to say, you're against interracial.
Love is love. The heart wants what it wants.
So is your argument maybe there's too many professional, very, very high profile?
When do you see?
I saw a...
Wait, Eric. Whoever you are. When do you see? You just don't see, and maybe we don't see because they're not celebrities. So you just don't see out in public, for me, in the circles that I move in, as many regular black men who have been able to marry the white women.
Right.
I feel that they see the celebrity black men, the athlete black men, as prizes, and so it's okay to date them because they're going to elevate my lifestyle.
I saw a picture on Instagram. It was a basketball team. I don't remember what team it was. And it was the team and their spouses, and all the spouses were not women. It was all black basketball players, but none of their wives
were black.
Correct.
Drop down, leave a comment. How do you guys feel about that? If you're white and you watch the channel, please give your views on it. And then for my other ladies, how do you feel about that? You just said you saw a picture of a baseball team? Basketball team. All of their spouses were there. The players were black. None of the spouses were black.
I think maybe one out of the,
What does that say? What does that say? As a black woman, I would feel that the picture is worth 1,000 words. It speaks volumes. It says to me that I have, as a black athlete or actor or whatever, attained all of this celebrity, all of this wealth, and my black sister is not good enough for me to share it with. I will seek out another race to share it with. Again, if you feel that, oh my gosh, I've met this lady of another race and I have just fallen head over heels in love with her, then you got to do what you got to do. The heart, like I said, wants what the heart wants. But I feel, just in watching mainstream media,
it shouldn't be opportunistic.
These men,
on either side, it shouldn't be opportunistic. I
feel they're falling for the okie doke. I feel some of them are getting played, and I feel that these women are seeking these men out.
Let me bring in another aspect of this, because I feel like stories like this are so in the mainstream now, and it just makes men look like we aren't about anything. Number one,
you're not about anything.
Yeah, like we have no morals, we have no ethics.
So are you saying that if you date someone outside your race, you don't?
No, I'm just saying in general, the cheating thing. Right.
Right. I would never have even associated allegedly.
Right.
He's allegedly being accused of, by the woman who turned him in, of texting someone else.
Right.
So
yeah, I just think for high profile, and I've said this on numerous videos. It's interesting. I think to your point, there is a desire among women to have a man that is successful. Sometimes successful means being high profile. However, being high profile comes with a lot of downsides. And you do have a lot of women coming at you when you're very high profile. There's a joke by Chris Rock, I don't remember what he said. He's like, men can run, but we can't run fast. You know, women are used to turning down guys left and right. But for men, it's more difficult. So Jonathan was very high profile.
Y'all friends, y'all cool?
I talked to him yesterday.
Okay. Well, don't go over and start trying to pick up any of his traits.
Very high profile, but I'm just amazed. He's got one phone. He's getting texts on the phone in front of the girl. He doesn't have sense enough to have two phones. I have his assistant do his dirty work. I'm just amazed how easily these guys get caught. And then in this social media age, it is so easy to get caught.
But here's my thing. Okay, we talk getting caught and having two phones.
He should do it.
I didn't even, when I first saw Jonathan Majors coming upon the scene, to me,
he's a nice guy.
He didn't look like this was in his character.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. Thank you, because you said it might not be. But when that fame and the money hits,
like Chris Rock,
it changes people. Right. It changes you.
Would it change you?
No. Second thing, I think, and we did a whole video on this. I'll try to find it and link it. I think there's levels of maturity. I think it's a personality trait. I think you have to watch your ego. You were talking about the whole interracial thing, and I said, you know, make sure it's not an opportunity relationship. Right. Is this person trying to be with you to stroke their ego? I'm gonna take this famous.
So let me just say that. All right, look at how fast she immediately sees this guy at the top. Yeah. I'm gonna call the police. And now, just that fast, she's allegedly recanting.
Yeah.
There's video proving allegedly that he didn't do it.
Yeah. And you know,
how fast she said, you know what? I know they're gonna come and arrest you.
Yeah. And I just think for for all you ladies that are watching this and saying, man, Jonathan Majors is just proof that men aren't about anything. But remember, there's another woman, a mistress on the other side of that is equally as guilty and is probably clout chasing. Yeah. And as a guy, the way you avoid that, if you're a famous high profile guy, I reckon is clout chasing. I'm not throwing my life away. I'm not throwing my family away. Everything I've accomplished, I'm not throwing away any of that. So,
Steve Harvey.
Right.
Steve Harvey. Everybody's great, wonderful uncle. Remember, when Steve Harvey came onto the scene, because you're saying you wouldn't do it.
Right.
When Steve Harvey came onto the scene, he was married.
Did they divorce? I don't know enough about that relationship. Did they divorce because of infidelity? I don't know.
Steve Harvey's wife is infamous for saying that Steve Harvey cheated with Marjorie.
Do you think Steve would cheat on Marjorie?
I'm gonna say I think he's settled. I think he feels that he has a great, wonderful prize in Marjorie Harvey. I think he feels that she is a better complement to what he has going on right now. So I don't feel he'd cheat right now. I feel, and y'all can drop down in the comments and do whatever you do, but I feel at the time Steve Harvey was on the rise, he felt that his current wife was not Hollywood enough in terms of looks, maybe in terms of personality for what he was trying to portray at the time.
I can agree with that. I can kind of see that. Yeah, I think Dwayne Wade kind of fits into that category too, maybe a little bit.
Well, I forgot about Dwayne Wade. I forgot he was married before, and then he needed a more, more Hollywood, high profile.
I think the catch-22 for ladies, and look, it's natural. I think there's nothing wrong with wanting, we all want success. And so on the one hand, I think it's very attractive for a man to be very high profile, very successful. But it is a catch-22 because that does bring...
Heavy is the head
that wears the crown.
That wears the crown.
I think it's one thing to be successful and make your money in silence, but if you're successful and high profile, that's tough. That's tough.
Drop down, guys.
Let us know what you think in the comments.
Let us know what you think about the about all of this. All right. So this was just a really quick video today. Really quick. Wanted to pop in here. He wasn't here. All right.
I want to talk about all this man woman stuff.
I know it. But I feel, and I've been reading you guys' comments. You guys are saying that you wanted more conversations like this. But I want to leave you guys with just this. Please don't feel that we are against people coming together from different races. I absolutely have no problem with that. I understand that, you know, you don't, I would hope that no one goes out into the world and says, you know what, as a black woman, I only date white dudes.
Right.
As a black man, I only date
in this day and age, I think you should be open. I agree with that. I think you should be open to all.
The world now is more diverse and commingled more than ever before. We're doing more traveling. So in your travels now, you're going to come across different races and things like that.
I think what you're questioning is the motive and the culture match.
That's all.
There's got to be a good motive behind it.
Ain't no black women. For some of you black dudes, ain't no.
Did you skip over the good black woman? Did you just leapfrog? Yeah,
because she looks better.
Yeah.
You know, another name I'm going to drop, and then we're going to tip on out of here. Michael Strahan.
You really like Michael Strahan, personality-wise.
I like Michael Strahan, personality-wise, but he has a certain type. We talked about Shannon Sharp the other day. One of you dropped down, and one of you put in the comments in the last video where we talked about Candy and Shannon Sharp and said, Todd ain't got nothing to worry about because Candy is not Shannon Sharp's type.
Wow.
Yeah, but anyway, guys, please, this is just comedy.
Just open conversation.
This is just open conversation. All right, we love everybody. We love everybody. All right, with that, thanks so much for stopping in today, guys. I hope your week is shaping up to be a great week. It's just Monday. Hope you have a great week ahead, and we'll see you all in the next video.
I won't. I'm not going.
He won't. Bye, guys.